program. So we now have Rudramayam, an offering of prema to Swami for his 100th birthday, talk by Sri V Chandrashekhar sir, Manager, Radiology Department, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Whitefield. Sri V Chandrashekhar sir joined Bhagwan's Higher Secondary School at Prashanti Nilayam in 1993 in 9th standard and went on to do his BSc Physics from Vrindavan campus between year 95 and 98. In 2000, he completed his MSc in Physics from Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Prashanti Nilayam. Inspired by the noble philosophy of the founder and his divine command, he dedicated his services to the healthcare mission of Bhagwan by joining Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Science, Whitefield, since its inception in 2001. Presently, as a senior manager in the Department of Radiology, Sri V Chandrashekhar sir's role includes managing radiologic services, administering the enterprise-wide imaging systems and teaching radiologic physics curriculum to the technologists and radiology graduates. As the ex-convener of the Hospital Samiti, started personally by Bhagwan in January 2009 and former district president of Bangalore East district of Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, Karnataka, he is also active in many community service projects, organizes activities for promotion of Indian cultural values and directs value-based education for children in the campus through Balavikas. Considering the importance that Bhagwan gives for learning Vedam, he started teaching Vedam to the staff and residents of the hospital campus. He also organizes and directs sessions for the nursing college students. Annually, Vedam competitions are also held for students and staff as part of the sports meet in the campus to encourage learners. DV sir has supported Vedam movement in Karnataka as RP and toured the several districts of Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, Karnataka, to conduct Vedam workshops. Currently, DV sir is serving as one of the facilitators of the Vedanta Tattva Bodha Study Circle. We welcome you, sir.
गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। शांति शांति शांति। Offering my loving and prayerful pranams at the divine lotus feet of beloved Bhagwan, respected elders, and my dear sisters and brothers, Sairam to one and all. I would like to start with a disclaimer that though I have the privilege to stand here and address you on this important theme of Rudramayam. I'd like to clarify that I am neither a scholar or a pandit, either in Vedam or in Rudram. I am here only to share my joy of whatever little I have learnt at Bhagawan's lotus feet. We are all co-learners and co-sadhakas. We are all grateful to Bhagawan for giving us this wonderful opportunity to listen and speak and share our experience about learning at his lotus feet. Just like we cannot see the sun without the sunlight, right? So we cannot speak about the Lord without his grace and blessings. So we invoke the grace of Lord Rudra today. The theme for today is offering our prema as Rudramayam for Bhagawan's 100th year of Advent, the Centenary celebrations. In Sanskrit it is called Shatabdi. The Centenary is called Shatabdi. All of us are familiar with Shatabdi, right? Shatabdi, Shatabdi Express. This is also a Shatabdi expression. Not express, it's a Shatabdi expression. So I call it Prema Shatabdi expression. For Bhagwan's, Abdi means years, Shata means 100. Incidentally, the Shatabdi Express was started for Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's 100th birthday. That's why they named it Shatabdi. So here, this express, that Rudramayam Express has just started, and the culmination of that, this sadhana, is for Bhagwan's, to commemorate Bhagwan's 100th birthday. At the outset, all of us should be clear why and how privileged we are to be in this place. In the Kathoparishad, it is said, Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. One cannot, how much ever he aspires, a spiritual seeker, you cannot understand or get the Atman by pravachana, giving pravachanas, or by your intelligence, or bahuna shrutena, or how much ever you hear about it, unless the Atman chooses you. It is said, Yame vaisha vrunite tena labhyas tasyesha atma vivrunite tanum swam. Unless the Atma chooses, unless the Lord chooses to be with you in our life, we cannot, with all our intelligence, talent and might, be chosen by him. That is why Swami says, take one step towards me and then I take 100 steps towards you. So for the Lord to choose us, first we have to choose the Lord. Always the ball is in our court. He will choose us, provided you are inclined to choose only him. So all of us, if we show our commitment that we are choosing him, then 100% he will take us into his fold and make us his instrument. This entire place, Sai Gitanjali, one of the blessed places where Swami has personally come, inaugurated and then moved around. This is like a spiritual substation, right? Power distribution. You have power distribution. Electrical power is generated in one place. It needs to be distributed. Periodically it has to be amplified. So you need centers to amplify. So this is a spiritual power distribution center. Our main substation is in Vrindavan. So if we say Trayi is our, it's a distribution station, but more it's a power generation station, right? Spiritual power it generates, because Bhagawan has physically resided there. Any idea what Trayi means? The meaning of Trayi?
Sorry?
Yes, Rig, Yajus, Sama. Because the triad, actually 4 Vedas are there, but the 4th one has been derived from the other 3. So, Rig, Yajus, Sama. In the 3 triad is called Trai. Incidentally, if you notice, every place of residence where Swami stays, right, it is actually named after Vedas, because the Lord resides in, the Veda Purusha has to reside in Vedas, right? So, Yajur Mandir in Parthi, or Trai, or Sai Shruti, whatever residence of Bhagavan you take, it will be named after Vedas. I just recall an incident in my 12th class. In those days, during birthday, you are allowed to, this was in 1994, November. I had the opportunity to sit in the portico in the front. Birthday boys are allowed to sit in the front. And then in the last minute, I realized that I did not take a photograph, because Bhagavan can, autograph the photograph and we can keep that as a memory. So I quickly, there was only Chitravati Road, Sai Studio and Baba Studio. Only 2 studios used to be there in those days. And I quickly bought a big picture of Swami. I myself had not seen it because it was almost darshan time. So I quickly bought it and sat in the front. Darshan started. In those days, it used to start with music, not Vedam chanting. Vedam chanting started much later. So music was going on. After that, Swami came, finished the interview, came. And then he looked at me and said, show the photograph. So I opened the photograph from that roll, but that was the first time that I am also seeing that photograph. So I opened the photograph and then showed it to Swami, gave a permanent marker. And just before Swami signed it, right, he looked at the photograph, gave a glance, and then he asked me, where is this? Yakada. Then I had a blank face, because I wanted to first look at the photo myself. What is that photo? So I looked at it, and there was Swami standing with a flower, a plant with a flower. The background is only that much, it's a garden. So I said, I have no idea, Swami. He said, this also, he kept an expression as if this also you do not know. So I said, no, Swami. Then he said, Shruti Ra, he said. Unfortunately, at the time, I was so, I joined in my 11th class only, but I had no idea that there was the place of residence in Kodaikanal. It was called Shruti. I had no idea. So Swami said, Shruti Ra. It still did not flash. So seeing my blank expression, Swami said, he was little annoyed that I did not know such a small thing also. He said, he gave one tight thing on my head and said, Sai Shruti Ra. It still did not, there's nothing to correlate with in my head. So I was blank. Then he said, Kodaikanal, Sai Shruti Ra. I said, okay, now I understood that, okay, this is the setting in which Swami was this one. And then after a brief pause, he signed this one and gave it back to me. And then he repeated the same thing, but this time he said, Sai, and then he paused and said, Shruti Ra. At that point in time, even that did not flash, because I did not understand or register in me that Shruti meant Vedas. Right? For me, Shruti, I only knew harmonium Shruti. Right? So, though the Lord himself, the Veda Purusha himself is actually making introducing himself that Sai is Shruti, the dull intellect did not receive it. But that is the opportunity that we have, that the Veda Purusha himself has introduced himself and said, I have come down to revive the very purpose for which avatars descend, right? So, it is said, Vidyasu Shrutir Utkrishta Tatraikadashini Shrutau. Among all the Vidyas, the Ashtadasha Vidyas, Arsha Vidyas that we have, it is the Shruti that is ultimate Pramana. Among Shrutis, Tatra Ekadashini, Rudraikadashini. The Rudram, which consists of 11 anuvakas, that among Vidyas, if Shruti is Utkrishta, is superior, among Shruti, the highest place is given to Rudraikadashini. Of course, Tatra Panchakshari, even in Rudram it is Panchakshari, Tasyam Shiva Ityaksharadvayam. Even in that, Namah Shivaya, even in Namah Shivaya, Shiva. That is the power or the auspiciousness of the name Shiva. All of us know that it is referred to as Sri Rudra Prashnaha. Sri Rudra Prashnaha. It comes in Yajurveda, Taittiriya Samhita, and Chaturtha Kandam, Panchama Prapataka. Fourth Kandam and fifth Prapataka. We all know that as Namakam, right? Namakam and Chamakam. It's a very common usage. But you will not find this being referred as Namakam, Chamakam anywhere. It is only usage we refer to. For example, when as humans, right? The easiest way that we can correlate things is, we see a koil. We name it as cuckoo because it says cuckoo. Cuckoo it says, that's why it is cuckoo. Dum 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 damaru baje, because the sound that it makes is dum 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 dum, so it is damaru. Nama 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 nama, therefore it is Namakam. Chame chame chame, therefore it is Chamakam. It's just it's the easiest way to relate to it. But this is Vyavaharikam. It does not have any basis. Is not referred like that either by sage Vedavyasa or anyone in Puranas or Itihasas. It is not referred to as Namakam and Chamakam. The Namakam comes some 183 times and Chamakam comes some 358 times in this one. So, because of the density of those words, we refer to that as Namakam and Chamakam. It is also called Rudraikadashini, obviously because it has got 11 anuvakas. But incidentally, the word Rudraikadashini is taken from the Lakshmi Sahasranamam. Lakshmi Sahasranamam. Therefore, Lakshmi stands for prosperity. If you chant Lakshmi Sahasranamam, it is Lakshmi gives prosperity, right? But she is also called Rudraikadashini, which means this Rudraikadashini is a Swarupa of Mahalakshmi, not as a consort of Vishnu. It is the Veda Mata, not referring to a Sakara Rupa. It is the ultimate Parashakti. It is referred to as Rudraikadashini. That is the reason why it is called Sri Rudram. Just not Rudram. It is Sri Rudram because Rudram can confer prosperity. It could be in worldly, it could be in spiritual. It is also referred to as Rudropanishad. I will come later. Actually, there are two parts for Vedas, right? Just now the previous speaker has mentioned this is the Veda Purvam and Vedantam. Rudram comes in the Veda Purvam, in the Karma Kanda. But still it is given the status of Rudropanishad because of its content. It still speaks about the highest truths that are there in Upanishads. That's why it's referred to as Rudropanishad. Now coming to the last way it is referred to, which is most relevant perhaps for this occasion, it is called Shatarudriyam. We are working towards Shata, right? The 100th year. So maybe, and this is how it is referred to in all the our Vangmaya. In all our spiritual literature, that's how it is referred to. Shata Rudriyam. But why Shata Rudriyam? Shata means 100. But that's a literal meaning of Shatam. Sahasram means 1000. But that's also a literal meaning. There is a classical Sanskrit. There is a Vedic Sanskrit. So in Vedic Sanskrit, how we refer to the meanings, what we understand in the normal usage, right? We should not use our dictionary. The Sanskrit classical dictionary, if you refer, the meanings will be distorted. There is a great risk of misunderstanding, right? Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha does not mean only 1,000 heads. Right? Thousands of heads also, but here they say Vishwam Shatam Sahasram Sarvam iti Akshaya Vachakam. Akshaya Vachakam iti Mahabharata Vachanacha, which means Shatam and Sahasram are representative of the word Akshaya or Ananta. It does not mean just the 100 and 1,000 that we know, those numbers. So these are Ananta Vachakas. So Shatarudriyam, what does it mean? It means there are hundreds and how many Rudras are there? How many Rudras are there? 11. Or Shatam. Sahasrani Sahasrashoye Rudra Adhibhumyam. Thousands. So 11 in terms of Sakara Rudras, but if you see every Devata, every manifestation of the divine, hundreds and thousands that are there are all manifestations of the same Rudra. So we are talking about one God or thousands of gods? We are talking about hundreds and thousands of Rudras, but manifestations of the one same Rudra that we are talking about. That is the reason why it is called Shatarudriyam. It is also called Shatarudriyam because Shatashakha Katam Sakshat Shatarudriyam Uttamam. It is there among all the shakhas, hundreds of shakhas that are there. The Rudram part of it is considered the most superior. And chanting once is equivalent to chanting, the merit of that is equivalent to chanting the entire Vedam. That is why it is called Shatarudriyam. Ekashatam Yajushakhas Tasu Rudropanishad Amnayate. The Yajurveda has got 101 shakhas. In all the 101 shakhas, parts of Rudram, the content of that is mentioned. Amnayate. Therefore, this is called Shatarudriyam. Now, when we come to, whenever we hear Rudra, right, it's a very difficult question for everybody to answer. That the imagery that comes to us is Rudra is a angry god. Why should we deal with anybody who is so angry with us always? Why he is angry always? Either something wrong with him or something wrong with us, right? Why should he remain angry with always? And the entire Rudram is about pacifying and cooling the anger of Rudra. It seems because we know God as somebody who is compassionate, loving, approachable, etc., right? But the word Rudram itself sounds ferocious, right? It is like if Lord Narasimha he appears, devotee of, all of us are devotees of Lord Narasimha, and appears. And he says, why fear when I am here? What will say? We fear because you are here. Because of your ferocious form. How come? It is actually inculcating fear, infusing fear in all of us. Obviously we'll fear. But you will fear if you are Hiranyakashipu. In the description of that, if you say, if you are Prahalada, then Prahalada never trembled in fear. He saw him as a very Sarvamangala Swarupa. So, if we are afraid of a ferocious form, that means there is something wrong with our understanding of that entity. Lord Narasimha did not cause he is not cruel. He is only cruel towards the evil. Not towards, he is always benign towards the devotee. So, in that sense, who is Rudra now? We have to now remove the misconception from our heads that Rudra is an angry god. So, is Rudra one of the three trinities, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva / Rudra / are these synonymous? Are we talking about Rudra as husband of Parvati? No. Because there is no mention of Rudra there, no? In that sense. So we are referring to that supreme consciousness that powers all the creation. That is why when we chant Rudram, right? Vishwam Bhutam Bhuvanam Chitram Bahudha Jatam Jayamanam Chayat Sarvo Hyesha Rudras Tasmai Rudraya Namo Astu. Vishwam Bhutam Bhuvanam, everything what we are talking about, everything that is there, Vishwam Bhutam, all the living beings. Bahudha Jatam, the multiplicity of this universe. Jatam Jayamanam, what is already done, past, we are talking about future also. So from this itself we can conclude that the Rudra, the deity that we are referring to, is the supreme consciousness, and we are not referring to a deity called Rudra. Right? Yo Rudro Agno Yo Apsaya Oshadhish Yo Rudro Vishwabhuvana. So we are telling he's the one who is there in the waters, in the fire, in all the elements. So obviously it is not a person, is not a personified deity. It is the Sarvavyapi, Sarvantaryami. We are referring to that. That is why even in Shvetashura Upanishad it is said Yo Devanam Prabhavas Chodbhavascha Vishwadhipo Rudra Maharshihi, which means the Upanishad recognizes Rudra as Sarvadhipa, Vishwadhipa, the master of the entire creation. So when we say Rudra, we should understand in Vedic tradition, right? They say that Namartha Vicharana is equivalent to Brahma Vicharana. Nama Artha Vicharana. That means whenever we use any word, if we don't understand its meaning, then there is no inquiry. We are not understanding it. Then what happens? When we, in Sanskrit, in spirituality, whenever you are taking the names or something, right? However auspicious it is, you should not limit only to Uchcharana. Nama Uchcharana is one thing, but it has to lead to Nama Smarana. But Smarana is possible without, minus the meaning, the Smarana will become mechanical because you have no concept of what that is. There is no meaning in the head. Therefore, the efficacy of that chanting to you as a spiritual sadhana is limited. For others who are listening, they are only listening the Shabdam. So the power of the Shabda obviously will have. So Namocharana gives definitely punya. That's why they say that even if you don't know the meaning, just by chanting, you will get the benefit. But that benefit is actually limited. If you understand the artha, meaning, and then you are able to do smarana, then vicharana happens. You can inquire into its tattva, and that will enhance its efficacy for you as a spiritual sadhana thousands of times. So from Namocharana, we should progress to Nama Artha Vicharana, and then Smarana becomes a little more relevant. It will become more beneficial. So what is the meaning of, that is why there is a Subhashita which says, when we do Parayanam, right, of anything for that matter, when we do any Parayanam, it should not be mechanical. That's why we started this Devi Mahatmyam, understanding the overall meaning of Devi Mahatmyam. Of course, we'll learn the text, how the correctness of pronunciation, etc. But more importantly, what is the tattva behind it? So it is said, Agnebhyo Granthina Shrestha, Granthibhyo Dharino Varaha. If you don't know Agnebhyo Granthina Shrestha, instead of not knowing anything, it is better to be knowing something. Granthibhyo, at least you know bookish knowledge is there. Right? But it is still, you can read from a book, Granthibhyo. You are literate, you know how to read. But Granthibhyo Dharino Varaha, instead of it staying in the book, instead of from Pustakam, if it is transferred to Mastakam, then the efficacy improves because you have memorized. That is why they say one of the doshas is Likhita Pataka. No? You should not read from a book and chant. Memorize it. So Dharino Varaha, you are a person who memorizes is better. Dharibhyo Jnanina Shrestha. Only memorizing, instead of that, if you know the meaning, then you are even more superior. I know, I memorize, but I also know the meaning. The last stage is Jnanibhyo Vyavasayinaha. You know everything, you know the meaning, but if you don't experience it, then still there is the last mile, they say, no, the last mile, that's missing. So from the time you know something to the stage where you know that it is there and you are able to recite, to the stage where you memorize, to the stage you understand its meaning and import and significance, and finally culminate in a stage where you experience what the Upanishad or the text wants to experience. This is the journey, right? We started with our entire Veda Poshana, started with, introducing first Vedam. Then we said, okay, you should start learning. Then we said, insisted on memorizing. Next, knowing the meanings. But practicing and experiencing is on an individual effort. The organization and the programs can only take you to that level. Experiencing it is an individual effort. So those, from this, what is the meaning of the word Rudra? At least Rudramayam, those who we are taking this up as a sadhana, there are many meanings for Upanishads have given several meanings to the word Rudra. But one that makes sense to us, which we can adopt and adapt, is Rodayati Sarvam Antakale iti Rudraha. The one who makes everyone cry. What kind of a God is? Who makes everybody cry. If somebody asks you this question, then you'll feel, if you yourself are not convinced, right, then you'll feel little apologetic and say, no, you don't understand all these things. He is much more powerful. Neither I understand that, nor you understand that. How can we worship a God who believes in making everybody cry? So now, it's not, for that, we need to understand the tattva of Rudra before we understand this statement. So crying is not necessarily always for sadness, right? It is not. There is actually a poem by Swami. He says, but before I go there, I'll tell you, when a new baby is born, right? If the baby does not cry, then you'll pinch him and make him cry. You are Rudra then. Correct, no? You make somebody cry. Why? Because that crying is a sign of life. Here, of course, he is talking about in the role of a dissolver. The world's problems are not getting solved. So best is to dissolve the assembly. I mean, when everything confusion and chaos is there, just dissolve the assembly. Problems will be solved. Let's start new, fresh again. Right? So here, he is more in the role of a karma phala pradata. All of us enjoy doing things. When we are enjoying, they say, Navutu cheste yedustu anubhavinchali. When you are doing things, you are very happy. But when the result comes, then you put a crying face. Because the result, if you have not written properly, and if the teacher gives you fail, a C grade or D grade, it is not that the teacher is making you cry, right? You are crying. How is the teacher responsible for your crying? He is only giving you the marks for which you have written. So, Lord Rudra is only a karma phala pradata. He has nothing to do with, he is not partial towards one or impartial towards it. He is just returning in that role. We will understand more of it when we understand the Rudra Tattva. But the second meaning that's of relevant to us is actually a contrary meaning. Is Rut Dukkham Dukkha Heturva Dravayati Naf Prabhuhu Rudra Ityuchyate Sadbhihi Shiva Paramakaranam. Rudram is, Rut means Dukkham or Dukkha Heturva. Rut means a sorrow or the cause of the sorrow. What is the cause of all our sorrow? It is your neighbor or somebody or your boss. Who is the cause of your sorrow? Don't blame yourself. Don't blame others. What is the cause of your sorrow? The root cause of sorrow is basically avidya, ignorance. There is something that you don't understand, that's why you are unhappy. Right? So, Lord Rudra is actually going to remove the root of the sorrow. If only sorrow you remove, again you didn't understand why you went into a problem. Again you will get into problem. So what Lord Rudra does, he removes sorrow, dukkham, Dukkha heturva, the cause of the dukkham also he will remove. That is why he is called Prabhu. Not everybody can be called Prabhu. You should not address everybody as Prabhu. Because only that person who has the capacity and ability to remove your sorrow from the root, uproot it so that it never comes back again, only he can be called Prabhu. That person, that entity is Karanasya Karanam. Karanasya Karanam means all things that you are experiencing in life, right? That somebody is causing you some trouble, he is only an instrument. Somebody is using him as an instrument to cause you, to give you back what you have earned in your past. You have earned with lot of effort, right? Your bank balance. All of us here are Karodpatis. We have huge bank balance, Sanchita Karma. All billionaires only are sitting here, Sanchita Karma. So much of bank balance we have. So, we have to experience, and Karma Kshaya has to happen. That can happen only if he gives it back to you. When he is giving back, if you don't like it, what can he do? So what you are saying, but that experience is not at all good. It's unpleasant, right? All the things, there are so many times you have performed adharmic actions in the past, either because of ignorance or arrogance. You can't escape from that, right? So what is the solution now? Now your life is miserable. Everybody's life in the world, you see, they have some problem or the other, right? Now what is the solution? The solution is you have to go back to the same person who is about to give you the punishment, right? And because only he has the ability to actually nullify it or reduce it. There is no other person. If this person does not do, it's not that you can go to some other god. There is no such concept. That is why he is introduced already in the beginning. He is the Vishwadhipa. So there is no law that you can overrule. There is no other god whom you can overrule. You can go to do some Shani Puja, that Puja, this Navagraha Puja, you can do. All these, instead of asking all these people, approaching Navagrahas, you have to get the Anugraha of Rudra. That is the easiest and the best. So he can, to some extent, either reduce, or we'll see what are the options that he gives in terms of what we can handle. So, Swami, in a beautiful poem, right, he says, Pichulu Pattinchu, Pichulu Pogottu, Sachitanandudu Sai Baba. Swami used to make devotees mad. Mad means not the madness that we are talking about. Mad after him. In olden days, people who used to be possessed, right? Swami used to drive away, exorcise their negativity and the evil that is there, right? He only used to remove, but he only used to give madness. But this madness, he says, is very beneficial. Now we are mad after something more useful. This Rudramayam is a madness, no? Madness means something which possesses you and you want to do, and you are possessed with it. That is a beneficial madness. It's going to help you and it's going to help the rest of the world. So obviously, Kanneeru teppinchu, Kanneeru tappinchu, Chinmaya Murti or Chinni Baba. Swami makes you cry when he denies you conversation, denies you interview, denies you everything, and he is not giving you whatever you want. He will make you cry. But at the same time, he will, whenever you are in trouble, he is going to wipe. So the same person, how two roles, dual personality, right? Dual personality. Sometimes he is like this, sometimes he is like that. He is like this because of no choice. Aghorebhyo, thagorebhyo, ghora ghora tarebhya. Whether he will do this or whether he will do that, I don't know. Because it depends on your karma and your yearning. So he is both ghora and aghora, sometimes at the same time also. Mother, the same hand that feeds, if you are not behaving yourself, he will give one tight one, slap. So the same hand slaps also, the same hand feeds also. What you have to see is the cause or the heart behind the hand, not the hand. Children will see only the hand and they'll get angry. Mother only, but still she is beating me. That is very immature level of understanding. So in life, when you are facing a lot of problems, no, it cannot be superficial or external. You have to see the karanasya karanam. There is a higher force that is allowing you or doing all these things. If you connect to that force, then you will accept everything. That is why, how do you accept it? Namaha, 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 Namaha. What is Namaha? Namaha means? Namaha is?
Not mine.
In Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said, Tannama ityupasita namyante esmai kamaha. Tannama ityupasita. How do you worship him? Just say Nama, 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 Nama. What is that Nama? Nama stands for, in our normal routine way, whenever we come across someone, we say Nama, right? Basically, our samskara, Bharatiya samskara is Namaskara. Namaskaram. Right? But even if you don't like somebody, Namaskaram, that is because social formality it is. You have to do Namaskaram. But what is the meaning of this Namaskaram? Nama comes from the root word Namrata. Namrata means humility. And when do you use that humility? Aradhayituhu aradhaniyasya utkarshanusandhana purvaka prahvabhavaha iti namaskara. The person who is adoring the other person, a sense of adoration, utkarsha bhavena, prahva bhavena, happily acknowledging that the other person is great. With that feeling, if you fold your eyes, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, 10, and then show that feeling. If you don't have that adoration feeling, then it is not namaskara. Simply you are saying like this, it's a social formality, externally. Internally, you should have that prahva, that wonder or that greatness and gratitude that that person is great. But you may say, hey, I don't like this fellow only, but I have to do this because it's this one. He is not great. Then you don't understand to whom you are supposed to do namaskara. You are not doing namaskara to his body. That's why they say in north when you go, no, they say Ram Ram. Why 2 times Ram Ram? Because the Ram in me is saying hello to the Ram in you. Ram, Ram. 2 times. So when you do namaskara, it is not to that external entity. You are saying, I am seeing the Lord in you. So the Lord in you is obviously great. He is wonderful. He is running this entire show, creation. So obviously you need to have the wonder and awe and the respect. So that is namaskara. And also, whatever I am doing, what I am saying is not mama. Mama, not mine. So there is a logic. Logic means nyayam in Sanskrit, no? It's called Varna Viparyaya Nyayam. Varna Viparyaya Nyayam means if you take the aksharas in the word, if you flip them, right? Varna Viparyaya, sometimes it gives you the secret hidden in that. For example, Veda is divine. How do you know? Veda. Deva. If you flip it, Veda is Deva. Therefore it is divine. Himsa. Simha. There itself you know the nature of that animal. Varna Viparyaya Nyayam. Similarly, Namas has to come from Manas. Manas has to be offered. It has to come from Manas, from within you. Then only it is your offering. You are saying that my antakarana, that is your inner instrument. From there you are offering the namaskaras. So that is namaskara. So you are having nama followed by nama. The entire Rudram is a nama followed by nama. Nama is, whose nama it is? Not your name, my name. It is Amrutasya Namani. Amrutasya Namani, the immortal's names. The one who does not have any name and form, his names we are talking about. So nama followed by the nama. This entire namakam is, that is the structure. Coming to the benefits of chanting Rudram. It is called Ekamulika Prayogam. If you go to a pharmacy shop, right, then how many ever number of parts are there in your body and how many ever specialists are there in the hospital and whatever different types of disease that you have such a big pharmacy with that many medicines, right? You can't, the number of medicines that are there, even the pharmacist has to keep on searching for those medicines. But when you have a spiritual problem, there is something easier approach. It's called Ekamulika Prayogam. For anything and everything, he will give you only one medicine. If you have indigestion, same medicine. Loose motion, same medicine. How it will work means, no, it will work. This is a spiritual medicine. These both are opposite. No, one opens the tap, one closes the tap. There's a difference. No. It knows when to open and when to close. So the Rudram is this Ekamulika means. See, Vedam has got Purva Bhagam and Anta Bhagam, right? Purva Bhagam is Karma Kanda. So you do all the Vedic rituals, etc., as enshrined in the Vedas, and then you earn punya or you do your dharmas. But that will only earn you punyam. It will not give you jnanam. For jnanam, you need to go to Vedanta, Upanishads. So the first part is Karma Kanda, second part is Jnana Kanda. Right? So unless you do Karma Kanda, you can't jump to Jnana Kanda. Karma Kanda is primary school and middle school you have to follow. Then only you will get a 10th class or 12th class degree to follow. So Karma Kanda will give you the eligibility to do the Jnana Kanda. Chitta Shuddhi can come only if you do Karma Kanda. That is why initially itself Swami did not start Vedam, etc. He started Sathya Sai Seva organization. Seva organization. Keep doing Seva, keep doing Seva, keep doing Seva. Then that will give you Chitta Shuddhi. From that Chitta Shuddhi, the bowl is now clean and it is clear. Now you can pour the nectar of Jnana into that. If without cleaning, if you directly pour, yesterday sambar was there in your night, this one, milkman has come, directly take the bowl, what will happen? The milk will get spoiled. Ambar also will get spoiled. But milk is more precious, it's fresh, it's gone. So, it is important that though Vedas are dual, we should learn them because that will prepare you for the jnana that is. So, if that is the importance of Rudram, where is Rudram found? Considering this how much time do we have? Okay, another 5 minutes. Considering the importance of Rudram, where did they position Rudram? As I said, there is Karma Kanda. Entire Rudram is there in Karma Kanda. But it's also called Rudropanishad. Why? Because though it is physically present in Karma Kanda, we realize that this has multi-purpose use. So they were thinking, what is the best place to position? In a body, right? What is the most important part? It's definitely not my little finger, definitely not my toe, definitely not my hair. Generally, it is either the heart or the brain. That's why super specialty hospital, neuro and cardiac, because those are the most important things, right? How do you know it's so important? How did God know that's so important? It is so important that God protected these two organs from even us. We also don't have access, physical access. How many of you touched your heart or touched your brain? It is protected. It is put in a skull. Even if you have to approach it, you have to break and then open and then reach it, right? Heart also, he has protected with a rib cage. So much of security is there means, obviously that is very important. More important than definitely other organs, right? If imagine any one of them is there near our knee, and then we are running around, or somebody has, the knee has touched the table or something like that. Such a vital organ, you will become brainless. So what he did, he secured it in a very safe place. Something which is very, very, very valuable. No, God is not going to leave it to chance, right? Same way, if Rudram is so precious, then obviously there is a security layer around that. So in the entire Shruti, the center part of Shruti is Yajurveda, and the heart of Yajurveda, Taittiriya Samhita, in the heart of that is Rudram. In the heart of Rudram, 8th Anuvaka, in that 8th Anuvaka, heart of it is Namah Shivaya. How many layers? Heart, center. If you want to reach there, then so many layers of it you have to cross. But the entire power of the body is there in the heart and the brain, right? So if you ensure that it is taken care of, it will take care of the rest of the body. Either the brain or the heart. The heart, if you take care of the health of the heart will pump and blood and then ensure that the rest of the body is healthy. So we have, that is why if you do Rudropasana, if we chant Rudram correctly, it is like watering the roots of the plant. You don't have to go and water each of the branches and each of the leaf. That is a scientific view to address the apparent. The person who has common sense, no, he'll go to the root of this one and say, if I pour water to Rudra, that means Rudra is the root of our entire creation. If you please him, you don't have to go to each and every temple. All your temple visits are saved. If you are pleasing Lord Rudra, one person, one stop solution for all your problems forever. That is Rudra. So that is the confluence of, so there is Upasana also in that. Right now we are doing this as Rudra Upasana. Right? Rudram can be used as a Homa, Archana, Japa and Abhisheka also. In all ways you can use the same Rudram. So Karma Kanda, you can do Abhisheka, you can do Homam, etc. You can get Brahmajnana also using Rudram, and you can please the various devatas also. So there is service in terms of karma, there is adoration in terms of upasana, there is illumination in terms of Upanishad, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that understanding. Therefore, SAI, the essence of the entire service, adoration, illumination, karma, bhakti, jnana, work, worship, wisdom, entire thing, one-stop solution, that is Rudram. So if you practice this, then you have integrated all the approaches of whatever the organization is prescribing. So, but that is not a substitute for seva. It is not a substitute for all the spiritual activities. It is not a substitute for Vedanta. It is not about just chanting. Right? If you are saying that the actual essence of the entire Rudra Tattva is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. All the names that you are taking, right? It is literally Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. Whatever is there in Bhagavad Gita, everything that you are seeing with your naked eye is divine. With that feeling, if you do, then will you not serve the other person? You will say everybody is divine, and then Swami comes, so you will not feed him. You will do unto Narayan Seva. You will not do medical camps. So you can't say that I see God in everyone and sit at home. It has to be a experiential learning. It's not theoretical. You must have heard of Rudra Pashupati Nayanar. There's one of the 63 Nayanmars, right? Each of these Nayanmar had a unique story. This particular person, he actually thought he was doing, this without any missing even a single day, morning, evening, he used to stand head neck deep in a lake, in a water-filled lake, and then chant Rudram. That's all he did for the entire life. To the extent that he started seeing Rudra in everything, in the leaf, in the tree. Whenever those anuvakas come, it was not theoretical. When he saw a stream, he saw. When he saw a mountain, he saw Rudra. When he saw the snow, when he saw the sky, he saw any animal, bird, beast, anything that he saw Lord Rudra. That was his experience. When he reached that stage, obviously, that is the final stage. So the Lord Rudra merged him into himself. So that is experience of that. So this Tattvam is Ghora, Aghora and Shivam. The world has got both Ghora and Aghora aspects, but you need to convert both of them into Shivam. Who is giving these unpleasant aspects? God only. Who is giving the pleasant happiness to you? It is the same Rudra. Two aspects of the same person. Because if somebody asks Swami also, when you are physically there on earth, the Parabrahman has taken avatar, why so many problems are there in the world? Swami said, if I don't take the avatar, problems will get solved. Then if I could solve the problems just like that, then I don't even have to take an avatar, right? You think I can't do it from wherever I am? If I am powerful enough to come down and choose my own this one and do all this, you think I don't have the power to do that? That's a silly argument, right? Everyone has to evolve and then undergo all their karmic things, but I am here to help you in that process of evolution. But if you have to put in all the effort. So I am only a karma phala pradata. So when you say that Shiva is taking his bow and arrow and is ready to shoot, it sounds little like a marksman, right? You are the target. Rudra is ready to shoot the arrow. What is that arrow? All the experiences that you are having in the world, whether it may come through the anger of your boss or your nagging of a family member, or through a financial problem, social problem, neighbor that did something, whatever be the experiences, right? Those are all Rudra's arrows. Many of times you don't have any control over what all others do. But if you know that there is one more person who is actually the cause, though the apparent cause is this, there is somebody else who is actually using everything else as instruments to give back what I have earned. So what you are saying, you are closing with folded hands, you are praying to Lord Shiva. Can you just, with your benevolence, can you please keep that bow and arrow aside? Meaning what? This is not about some arrow shooting competition, no? What do you mean when you say that? Keep your bow and arrow aside. I know that I have done all these things. I know that now it is coming back to me. But can you be little more benevolent and forgive me for what I have done? Paschatapa, I am ready to repent. I will not repeat. Whenever you are saying namaskar, what are you saying? Somebody is very angry with you, came to your home. You say sorry. I know. Sorry means that person will not. Anybody, even a human being, will melt. But obviously he cannot be partial only to those who say sorry, no? Those who didn't say sorry, those who don't know Rudram, karma phala will be there. No, it cannot be like that, right? So God cannot be partial. But because of your inclination, you have at least committed saying that I realize my mistake. Can you please forgive me? I am not going to repeat it. At least there is a chance that this fellow will improve, right? So with benevolence, he can. So there are a couple of options that are possible. One is either he reduces the intensity, right? You say that Ishava, somewhere it comes as Nishirya Shalyana. Just make your arrows blunt. That means you are supposed to be hit by a truck or something and died. Nishirya Shalyanam. Make it little lesser. Let my hand, some scratch happen, and then fracture, etc. and it's over. Same karma phala is removed. So reduce the intensity or
Postpone.
If you postpone it, then one day it has to come back to you. Only have to suffer because it's your hard-earned karma, right? How can it give it to somebody else? It is mine. I will only. So the easiest way is either reduce the intensity of that or replace the ghora with aghora. Substitute it. Swami says, no, my grace is like anesthesia. When I give anesthesia, same surgery is done. Lot of pain is there. But you don't experience it. So how does it matter? Let the pain be there, right? So it's like my grace is that anesthesia. The final level is you are praying to Lord Shiva. Give me the wisdom so that there is no ghora, there is no aghora. For me, there is nothing like this is terrible, this is benevolent. Give me the jnana, give me the wisdom. This is more permanent. That vision, right? Then you become Prahalada. Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. Whether a snake comes, an elephant comes, you are pushed down from this one, you give poison, you do whatever you want. He is only seeing Sarvam Vishnumayam Jagat. That is Sarvam Rudramayam Jagat. Vishnu and Rudra both are same. Vishnu will not say that I am already omnipresent, there is no place for you. He is not going to tell Rudra, no? Rudra will tell, no, actually I am also supposed to be omnipresent. These two are not obviously different people. It's the same tattva, right? Namo Bhagavate Rudraya Vishnave Mrityurme Pahi. There itself it is coming. That is, it is Vishnu. So these are the stages of evolution. Give me the strength to bear the aghora and close the karma. So that's why when you chant Rudram, all these, either you get the strength to bear it, and also you'll have the wisdom to know. When Swami wrote that letter, right, to his brother in 1947, he clearly defines what is devotion to me, according to me. మంచి చెడ్డలను మనసులో సమముగా భావించుచుండుటే భక్తి నాకు. He never said doing bhajans is bhakti. He never said chanting Vedam is bhakti. He never said all these are activities, good activities for purifying your heart. That is not devotion. Devotion is to consider good and bad, whatever is there in the world, in your heart as same. That is devotion. That is the yardstick that we have to use. Rudramayam, we can learn Rudram properly, we can teach everyone, resource persons, all this is a good thing because that's required at a worldly level, physical level. But ultimately, our vision has to become that of Prahlada. Otherwise, like in spiritual education, Hiranyakashipu was a primary school dropout. Not even primary school, Hiranyakashipu. Whereas Prahlada was a born PhD. When it comes to spiritual education, he is a postdoc. He is advising his father. This is how it is. Father is more powerful. This fellow is this much only. But see the difference. He has the vision of, so he doesn't need a Rudramayam course. He is already experiencing it. Even if I don't know physical recitation of Rudram, if I am living in the same consciousness, it is the same, right? So this is the way to understand what Rudram should mean for each one of us. All of us are extremely fortunate to have got this opportunity to do this. But the most fortunate will become the most unfortunate if we don't utilize the opportunity. A person who does not know that Kaun Banega Karudpati is there, is he unfortunate? Or a person who went to the last question and instead of A, he told B and lost the entire thing, is he unfortunate? When the time is there, if you don't utilize that opportunity, we become the most unfortunate people. Right? Here it's not Kaun Banega Karudpati. In this case at least, Kaun Banega Pashupati. New program is done. This Rudramayam is Kaun Banega Pashupati. Whoever wins, right? So this is Mission 100. Rudramayam is organization program Mission 100. Who's 100? Who's 100? Swami's Shatamanam Bhavati. A person who was never born, never has any end. What is 100 for him? But at a physical level, we are saying that for his 100th birthday, because we need a finish line, right? The finish line has to be there. But I think what we should do is, though we can target 100 for our Rudramayam, at least we should take a pledge that before we are 100, we should reach this stage, Rudramayam. Our life, Purna life, it should become Rudramayam when we become, by the time we touch 100. This is, they say, Ekabilvam Shivarpanam, right? Ekabilvam Shivarpanam. One leaf, Bilva leaf, is enough. Trikarana Shuddhi, it has got three, this one, right? With Trikarana Shuddhi, one leaf if you offer. But the leaf, that is a physical leaf. What the Lord Shiva sees is the belief behind that leaf. Bilva leaf is there, but the belief which is there behind that, right? That Vishwasam, that has to become like your Shwasam. That is more important. So in conclusion, there is the progression of our spiritual sadhana. Rudramayam is a spiritual sadhana to go beyond duality, dvandvatitam, and see only Rudra everywhere, unity, right? So Swami once defined Sai means what you know? See Sai always in all. S-A-I. See Sai always in all. So what are the steps in seeing? First step is help ever, hurt never. What is that step? If you see a Swami in everybody else, it means there is somebody else, right? Obviously, if somebody different from you, you have to help him. You have to not hurt others, right? Instead of doing Rudrabhishekam, cool. You're cooling whom? Shiva. But everybody else is getting upset with you, getting hot because of your behavior. This Rudrabhishekam is nullifying what you are doing there. Your words, your behavior should cool the hearts of others. That is true Rudrabhishekam. In spirit. So others are there, therefore help others, help ever, hurt never. That still means others are there. Duality is there, right? From there you have to progress to love all, serve all. All, everything is Rudramayam only. Everything is God. Love all and serve all. But just now you said all is there. So many Rudras are there, okay. But we said only one Rudra in all. So we'll change it. Serve one who is present in all. All are not there, no, only one is there. So love one, serve one. Who is that one? Don't ask now. This person or that person. It is not any one single person. So who is that person means all is there. No, make an anagram of that. You know what's an anagram? All means A-L-L. Make it L-A-L. Serve Lal. Who? Nandalal. Anandalal. That Lal is there in all. So love Lal, serve Lal. Nandalal, he is there in all. He is only one person. Till you reach a state where even that person is not seen by you. There is no that person also, because what you are seeing everywhere is only you. That is why Swami says, when you say love all, serve all, that means you still believe that somebody else is there. That's why the question of loving is there. That's why Swami says, I have to become love. Not I should. Love is not an emotion to show somebody else. I should become love. So from love all, serve all, it should be only love. All also, service is not there now. It is just love. There is nothing else. Everything else is a byproduct of that love. So from help or hurt never, love all, serve all, it is just love. That is the prema, the offering that we have to make for Swami's 100th birthday. So let us enchant the Lord with the chants of Rudram. Enchanting Lord. With Rudram, let's embrace Shiva's grace. With Rudramayam, let's accelerate the pace of our spiritual progress. To cross Bhavasagara, let us engross in Rudra Tattva. There is one Sanskrit patriotic song which says, some of you would have heard, Manasa Satatam Smaraniyam. With your mind, think about that. Vachasa Satatam Vadaniyam. Speak with your words. Rudramayam Mama Karaniyam. Lokahitam Mama Karaniyam. Let us all participate in this Rudramayam, not as an organization program, yes, definitely, but more as your personal offering to your own master as a gratitude for what he has been throughout your life. This is a journey, this is a milestone that all of us cannot afford to miss. Then, Atmano Mokshartham Jagat Hitayaja. Both in one shot, two in one. You will also progress spiritually and the world also will benefit because of your personal sadhana. Jai Saran.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir has given us beautiful insights about the structure of Rudram. Definitely, we should move from now onwards, from Pustaka to Mastaka, understand the meaning and know the significance, dwell on the Bhavartha. Swami has said in one discourse that there are about 13 lakh syllables in the Vedas, and each syllable represents one God. So if you are pronouncing each syllable, then just imagine how much punya we have. All the seva activities we take part are for Chitta Shuddhi, that is to let go the I or the ego in us. When the ignorance goes, we can attain the wisdom of the divine. So in this way, at least we can have an MBA degree. That is, let us strive to have MBA, mind on Baba always. We now have a tea-coffee break. After that, the session will be divided into the first floor session where the learners and the chanters can assemble, and the ground floor, the trainers can assemble. Before that, people who don't have their Sai Connect IDs, please get your IDs done. Our IT team is here to help you out.